Hi, I'm Laura.
And I'm Paul.
And this is The Truth About.
Confusion filled sea of doubt. It's time to hear the truth about. Confusion filled sea of doubt. It's time to hear the truth about.
Weight loss.
So, Laura, this is quite an interesting one. Well, maybe not.
They're all interesting.
They're all interesting.
Are you kidding?
But, weight loss, I was quite surprised to find, or maybe not surprised to find, weight loss is actually one of those most searched things on the internet after, news or whatever. Does that surprise you or not?
No, because I think that there is a huge pressure to be a certain weight. And
yeah, society is kind of driven that way.
This is the thing I've learned about weight loss.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Starting point.
I'm going to start right off there.
Oh, of course you are.
If you don't have the time to listen to this podcast, all you need to do is have a calorie deficit and that's it. Ignore every single thing else. Just have a calorie deficit of however much you want to lose, 500 calories from your daily amount per day or whatever, and then that's it. You, in theory, are going to lose weight.
Essentially, you just need to eat well and exercise. And occasionally you can have a treat as long as it's not going over a certain amount of calories.
Yeah.
They say don't calorie count.
Yeah. But calories do count.
But they do count. Yeah. So the amount you burn is very important. So you do need to move. You do need to get moving. You do need to do exercise, whether it's just going for a walk or going to the gym, working out from home.
Yeah.
It just needs to be... And it's incredible, actually, how much calories you burn just from going for a walk.
Yeah.
Me and Paul have been going on walks a few evenings.
Yeah.
We sometimes walk almost 10k, but even on a 5k walk, we can burn several hundred calories. And when I say several hundred, I mean 300 calories.
Yeah.
Not 700. But what you put into your body is also very important. Now, I would class myself as a foodie. Food for me is very, very important. I love my burgers. I love my chips. You can hear my stomach rumbling now because
you're talking about good food.
I've been talking about good food on in the Disney World podcast.
Yeah.
But what I think the main thing is to take away from just the thought of trying to lose weight isn't the weight itself. It's more about how you feel and how you're looking after your body. And
that really is the thing. I mean, there's I tell you what, I would say maybe even up to the point of 2 weeks ago, I said to you, I'm like, look, I'm so disillusioned with all of this stuff. I know during lockdown or whatever, I've been having quite a good time. I've been eating a lot of stuff, been drinking a lot of stuff. But now, I was like, right, I want to figure out how I can lose weight or lose fat healthily, on my body, my clothes fit a bit more better and all this kind of stuff. But there is so much misinformation on the internet that it really frustrates me. And actually, I just got totally disillusioned with all of it.
Everything is a contradiction. Some people will say you need to be vegan. Some people will say you need meat.
That's it. You only need meat. You need to have a carnivore diet.
Yeah, cut carbs, go on carnivore diet, keto,
vertical.
do Slimming World.
Yeah.
And
Weight Watchers.
What we've learned is really just do what's right for you.
Exactly.
Paul and I, for the past few weeks, because we had put on a bit of weight and we were feeling uncomfortable, sluggish, feeling tired, getting a bit ratty. We realised that the main thing that you can change to help your mood and other lifestyle aspects are literally what you put in your body.
Yeah.
And the calories you intake, you need to burn.
Yeah.
So we're by no means nutritionists.
No.
We're not personal fitness
people.
Even though
we've had enough personal trainers, nutritionists anyway that have got advice
and this is really where we have gone, you know what, let's just do what's right for us.
Exactly.
So we're eating a lot of protein. We're eating food which contains carbs but aren't carb heavy. Because you do need carbs.
That's another one of the biggest myths, isn't it? We do need carbs, especially if you're working out.
The main thing that you need to cut out is processed sugars. Natural sugars are fine.
Yeah.
Natural fats are fine. Like avocado. Honestly, I've been using MyFitnessPal.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's a really good app if you want to just keep a track of your calories, just get an idea.
You can just barcode stuff, can't you?
You can take barcodes and go, oh, okay, maybe that's a bit too much. But as with anything, you can get a bit obsessed.
Yeah.
So take everything with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
But you know,
or not. No, but this is the thing, like, and this is really interesting actually, as studies and stuff have gone, because there actually was there was a guy, you know, I'm like with facts, I'm rubbish and the story, whatever, but I think the guy was at Harvard or, you know, one of the big universities in America, and he wanted to prove to his students that calorie deficit was the most important thing. So what he was actually doing was, like, you know, having a Mars bar for breakfast, and, you know, he was just eating really bad stuff, but he was still keeping it within the deficit of whatever, you know, 500 calories per day. So he still was actually losing weight, even though he was eating a Big Mac and all this kind of stuff.
The reality is when it comes to, you can have a Big Mac every day.
You can.
If it's staying within your thing.
It might not make you healthy though, will it?
It's not healthy. It's not nutritionally beneficial.
No.
And it won't keep you full for a long time.
Well, no.
Whereas having good protein, chicken, having vegetables and rice.
There's enough veggie and vegan proteins as well, obviously, because we did that for a very long time.
Yeah, we did that. So it's about keeping you fuller for longer so you don't binge eat on sugars and unhealthy stuff.
But the truth is that there are very many diets out there, and the truth is all of our bodies are different and they react differently to different things. You know, I mean, I only found out recently after all these years, and I know it's such a cliche, on vogue thing to have, but it's like, obviously I've got gluten intolerance or whatever, I'm not celiac or anything, but for many, many years now, like, that's clearly been a thing that's been reoccurring that I've only just found out.
Yeah.
As in, like, I've stopped having it.
Very...
Yeah.
We for a long time we were picking out things which could possibly be the problem for Paul, not for me.
No.
I get bloated on gluten. I sometimes get a bit of tummy ache, but it's because me and Paul eat a lot of the same stuff, and if I have it, my body goes into shock and it's a bit like, oh hey. Whereas Paul can continuously eat it for like 3 years and still have the same negative reaction on his body. So there are certain intolerances and things like that. But going back to my my Fitness Pal point. It can show the details of how much fat you're consuming and what type of fat. So avocado is not bad for you, but the fats are same with eggs. You know, really, really high, but they're good for you. Yeah, and that, I think, once you do your research on what is good and bad fats and what's good and bad sugar, and carbs as well. Yeah, you can't live off chips, but bananas have carbs, don't they? Do bananas have carbs?
Yeah.
Certain things have carbs anyway.
Carbs. Yeah, and that's kind of thing. There's, like, for example, keto and things like that are, like, kind of preventing you from having bananas and things like that. And I was reading these things from these nutritionists and stuff. It's like, well, any diet which says to you that you shouldn't have fruit is a bad diet. You know what I mean? And it was like, well, yeah, that does actually make sense.
What every diet has in common is the reality is
the calorie deficit.
The calorie deficit.
Basically, a diet is there to enable you to not feel that hungry during a calorie deficit. That is the overall thing. And there's so many really good nutritionists out there as well that really are just hitting the nail on the head. They've got all the research. There's some such great studies out there now and things like that of, you know, experience and things like that. And that's the thing. I mean, I hate to say, but, you know, I become... You know, when I become vegan, all that kind of stuff, a big part of it was to be more healthier, because I thought, you know what, I need to prevent myself from wanting to eat burgers and ribs all the time. You know, and because obviously I'm a very full-on person, and I don't know, I don't have no balance, you know, in theory. But I thought I was going to be healthier being a vegan. But the truth was, the meals were healthier. But
you weren't as full up for longer, so you ended up eating...
And you still eat so much processed
food. Much vegan chocolate.
Yeah, and it's still so much processed stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's still so much stuff where you go, right, I'm going to have these things, or I'm going to have... You look at the products, you know, what's in them, the list or whatever, and there's so much stuff in there.
I mean, some people can be absolutely perfectly happy on a vegan diet. Yeah. And...
I was just hungry.
I mean, Game Changers really...
was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and it on Netflix. And when I watched it, I wanted to be vegan, mainly because of all of the pros it was saying about how it affects depression. Yeah. Unfortunately, it did the opposite for me.
I would say I was a lot more unhappier as well. I think. And the thing is, a lot of people will say, well, you know, you need to have more of this or more of that.
You weren't doing it right.
And that's the thing as well. I don't want to supplement. I don't want to. I don't think a good diet should have loads of supplements. You know what I mean? A good diet should,
be varied enough that you get everything that you need from them.
There definitely was. I don't know. I think there was a lot of energy. A lot of perceived energy through the vegan diet or whatever. So that was really good. But to be honest, I don't think it was enough.
I think you were just constantly eating and you were still constantly hungry.
Yeah.
Which actually was worse for us.
Totally.
I think switching to me, it wasn't an easy decision.
No.
I decided to do it first, and then Paul had a thought about it and was like, you know what, this could probably be affecting my mood as well.
Totally.
It affected our social lives. Affected going out in general and going, oh, should we go eat there? And it's like, oh no, I'm sick of veggie burgers and vegan burgers and just eating chips. Sometimes you just want a nice chicken salad. But regarding weight loss, I mean, there's a difference between your food diets and weight loss. I think the main issue is that people see a number on a scale and assume that they are either healthy or not.
Yeah, and the scale is not a good judge of healthiness anyway.
It's not. Your healthiness is based on how much you're getting and how much exercise you do, which is why I actually personally do recommend for people that are trying to lose weight is to actually talk to a nutritionist.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Because they can give you food information which is based on you, rather than just a general overview, because the internet will just give you a statistic.
Yeah, and there's too much information as well, so you really do need to filter out what's going to be good for you. And this is the thing, like, you follow these. I know it sounds stupid, but Arnold Schwarzenegger is really good. I mean, I read that book not that long ago or whatever. And it's just like, he talks about exercise and stuff. And also there's like these kind of like MTV Cribs kind of things where it's like Gym and Fridge, Men's Health do it. And they spoke to him and he's like, squats or thing, and he's like, both. You know what I mean? Like, there's no pretense there. And okay, he's world's strongest man, however many, not strongest man, but Mr. Olympia and Mr. Universe stuff so many times. But the thing is, like, and within the book, it's like, it doesn't matter how you give your muscles resistance, whether you're going to lift a chair every single day or not. Your body doesn't go, oh my God, you're lifting 220 kilograms or whatever, or pounds or whatever. It's basically just going to go, I'm feeling resistance, the muscle's going to tear, and then it's going to rebuild back stronger as long as it's got enough protein to, obviously induce that kind of thing. But it's like, we need to take a lot of the BS out of all of this stuff.
Yeah, fad diets don't work. The only
they might work as long as there's a calorie deficit.
I personally think they're very short-lived.
Yeah.
No one has a fad diet, lives on a keto diet. Well, there might be for several years. No one lives off that.
And that's an important part, isn't it? Because a diet isn't meant to be for long term.
It's about having a healthy lifestyle.
Exactly.
It's not about necessarily losing weight. It's losing the bad fat to maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
So obviously I put on like 2 stone since February.
Yeah.
That's was a bit of a shock to me because I didn't think
we probably didn't put it on February, but over the past
since February I've put on 2 stone. And I was a bit like, okay, this isn't that good. And I don't normally go on the scales. I don't trust the scales, but I knew that I wasn't being healthy at the same time. So I knew that 2 stone had come from an unhealthy place.
Yeah.
So it's been like, especially for me and Paul, our goal to go, right, okay, let's switch things up. Let's have like, not a detox, but kind of cut out the sugars.
Yeah.
Because I would have a can of Coke every day if I could. I'd have a chocolate bar every day if I could. You, especially when you go out with other mums, you go out for cakes and coffee, and things like that. So you do tend to just build up these calories from somewhere. Yeah, and they're not a treat if you're doing it every day.
No.
So like me and Paul have said, like once a month we're gonna have our, I say cheat day. We're gonna order a nice big takeaway.
Yeah, cheap meal. Yeah.
And eat cake and enjoy ourselves, and that's fine. Some people will eat out 3 times a week, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
as long as it's not just burgers and chips every day after having a fry up and a pizza for lunch, because it's a lot of bad processed foods.
Well, that's the thing. There's so many of these really good nutritionists online that aren't trying to baffle people and things like that. And obviously, luckily I've got onto them and found out about them and things like that. And that's the thing. We are creating unhealthy mindsets of these foods as well, and that's the problem as well, because I love those things on Instagram or whatever where they're like healthy, unhealthy, or whatever, and it's like there's no such thing as unhealthy.
No, that is true. Obviously some things have higher
calorie,
salt,
whatever,
higher fat, higher dairy, and it's fine to have that, and it's really good to just eat. You know what? You need to eat. You can't starve yourself.
For the body. Yeah.
You need to have enough to keep your body going based on your body type, based on your height, your gender, and because Paul needs more calories than I do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'll be like looking at what he's eating. I'll be like, I could eat all of that. But my body will say, no, you're still a bit little. But it is personal, completely personal. And this is only if you want to lose weight. By the way, I just wanted to point out there is absolutely nothing wrong with weighing 12 stone or 16 stone or what 8 stone, as long as you're healthy.
Yeah.
And only a medical professional can state that. No one else.
No, and that's another interesting topic as well, because I've managed to find and get onto a few different bloggers and things like that who have been like the most ultimate, less than whatever % body fat, and they're all trimmed, and their six-pack shows all day long and all this kind of stuff. But actually now they're not that shape anymore.
No.
Now they're actually, I don't know, look a little bit more whatever, you know what I mean? Average, or, whatever you want to call it.
What is normal?
Exactly, because it is just, it's a failed concept anyway.
Yeah.
But they're promoting how much more happier they are, that they do treat themselves more, that they're not, because obviously, in their words, they class themselves as having eating disorders or whatever,
or disordered eating.
Yeah. From being like, from being way too counting calories all the time and not putting anything in their bodies and things like that. My favorite story was actually one of the bodybuilders, or whatever, it's rubbish wrong because I'm not going to say his name or whatever, but it was one of the guys was trying to sabotage him. So after he had lost, he had come second again or whatever. Ronnie Coleman, that was it, Ronnie Coleman. And basically he felt the other guy was trying to sabotage him. He goes, you don't drink, you don't do this. I'll tell you what, tonight we're going to get like a bottle of vodka, and just all of this alcohol and all this kind of stuff. And actually the next day he said he'd looked the best he'd ever looked because the alcohol had basically dehydrated him. So it actually showed all of his like muscle definition even more and all this kind of stuff. So it actually was like, oh my God,
Yeah, not something I'd recommend if I were you. But so that's the thing, bodybuilders.
But it's not unhealthy.
Well, yeah. Again, there is a line between you can go what is unhealthy and what is healthy. How far can you go before you say someone's thin, before you say someone's fat?
Yeah.
And it is, again, personal preference. Weight loss is a personal thing.
Yeah.
It could be you might need to lose weight for health reasons.
Yeah.
Comfort reasons. Your clothes may just stop fitting, so you don't want to go out and buy some new clothes, so you just want to get back to your normal size. And when I say normal, I mean just your how you've been for however many years. You might have always been a size 12 like me, and my jeans started getting a bit tight, and I was like, well, I don't really want to have to throw all my clothes away, maybe I should just stop having takeaways. And after a week I was back in them, and that's all it really takes. It just takes a few days sometimes because it can just be bloat.
But let's look at the other things that we learn as well, because the other important things are obviously sleep.
Yes,
that's
sleep
like the
is so important. Sleep, hydration. Hydration's
drinking enough
important.
Water.
If you're going to, if you're trying to build more muscle or tone, use weights. Don't just use cardio. Cardio is really good for you.
You need both. Yeah,
you do need both,
and you're not going to become more musclier
No.
Because actually that was your
Muscular.
fear. Muscular. that was actually your fear, wasn't it?
Right
at the start,
it
I was
was
like,
my fear.
dude, lift some weights.
Because I was lifting like around the same as Paul.
Yeah.
I couldn't do as many reps as him.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's fun and it's really good for your mental health as well.
I find that empowering.
You don't have to work out to lose weight.
No. No, it's a calorie deficit. It doesn't matter if you work out more, you can eat more.
Well, no, I just, what I'm saying is that if, say, for instance, you are, some bigger people like to be called fat because they don't see it as a demeaning word. So I wouldn't use the word fat. Some fat women may love their bodies. And damn right, some are absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And they do exercise because it's good for them.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing, I feel. What is good for you?
Yeah.
And on that note, we're going to take a little break.
Be sure to subscribe to The Truth About blog at truthabout.co.uk. Okay, so going back into this thing, Laura.
Yeah, about feeling good for you.
This was kind of the thing, actually, because I tell you what, like growing up as a young man, I mean, I was pretty tubby, or like I'm not sure what you'd say. You know what I mean? But it was pretty evident that I love my food. I've always loved my food since I was born. I was born pretty big anyway, you know, quite a healthy size or whatever. But this was like the whole thing, you know, and that's all I ever knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think my mum and dad were that healthy as such. Like
no, but your parents love their portion sizes to be quite large.
It's old school and all this kind of stuff. But it was only at the point, I think, of probably when I left school and I started getting into music and stuff where I started to think...
When you're trying to wear women's jeans.
Well, women's jeans, yeah, especially. But I was like, you know what? I really need to lose the weight now. You know what I mean? Like, I need to... that's how I felt, you know, and it's one of those things, you're performing more, you're doing all this kind of stuff, whatever. And I don't think I did it in a healthy way for sure. I definitely didn't, because I lost a huge amount of weight in a very short amount of time, probably from not being healthy at all, probably just from really limiting, sizes and all that kind of stuff. But it was actually at that point where luckily my friend was actually a personal trainer. He just... done his stuff, and become
did his course
did his training and stuff. And then he like took me under his wing, for like a little bit less than nothing kind of thing, was telling me like, you can work out in your house, you don't need to go to a gym, you don't do stuff, you just do it with your body weight. And I was like, no, you can't, like you need to go to a gym, you need to, and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, but that was the first time where I was like, oh my God, like I am sweating, I'm dying. And then it was that thing of like, you now need to eat more because, you need to maintain this weight.
It's also important to remember that diet is the biggest part of weight loss, if that is your aim. I'm sorry, I keep saying if that is your aim. I know this is the whole topic, but I'm not one for encouraging people to lose weight.
No.
I'm also not one for, I have no body shaming.
No.
I don't have a body shaming bone in my body.
No.
I believe everyone is beautiful and their shape does not define them. Again, though, when people are trying to lose weight, like people like me and Paul, we've tried every single diet.
Yeah. Well, not
everyone. We've tried a lot of different diets and we tried a lot of ways of shifting certain body fats.
Yeah.
And this one at the moment has been the one that has kept us
And this isn't
happy.
even a diet, it's just a calorie deficit.
We're just making sure that we're consuming enough calories to keep our bodies going and doing exercise.
Exactly.
We're doing exercise 5 days a week. And going on walks.
And recovery is important.
Yeah, recovery is important. Sleep is important. Drink lots of water.
Yeah. Lots of protein will make you feel full. We've learned that.
Lots of protein. It's good to have carbs. And that is really what we want you to take from this. Yeah,
and that's really the point of this episode. Really is more than anything of like. Hopefully if this just gives it a little bit back, or if it just makes people be able to find the right information that they need quicker, then that's really what I want. I wanted to have listened to this.
We are not professionals.
No, we're not.
A good YouTuber to look at is Will Tennyson.
Oh, I love him.
He is hilarious. He's a Canadian YouTuber.
And he tries all the diets, doesn't he?
Tries lots of different diets. He does food challenges. Yeah. He's really buff.
Yeah.
He can eat for the whole of Canada.
All the donuts.
He eats donuts, but he still is really good at keeping himself motivated and fit and healthy at the same time. It's real
though, and that I love watching Will, especially because like you can see him do all the different diets, and obviously it is funny and all that kind of stuff, but he genuinely does go you can see what that diet is,
and also how the diet can affect you. Like many of the diets he's tried have given him headaches, made him feel sick. Yeah. He's either felt more hungry, less hungry. He's tried Mike Tyson's diet. Arnold Schwarzenegger's diet. Yeah. He's tried veganism, fruitarian. Crazy. The carnivore diet. He's tried keto. He's tried everything. Yeah. So he's definitely one to go watch. It's Will Tennyson.
Yeah. I tell you another good one is Eddie Hall. World's strongest man for a long period of time. If you're
watching him, he's
7,000 calories and oh my god.
He's just fun to watch. Yeah. I wouldn't recommend just following everything he does, but he is really fun to watch.
Lift a car.
But
go and lift a car.
Yeah, going back to food, it's really important to have a healthy relationship with food.
Yeah.
It's only we've only been cutting out crap, putting it lightly, for 2 weeks. So we haven't really been like, cool, we've been really good this week, let's order a takeaway, because it's so easy to just fall back into the habit of going, well, I feel good now the next day, and now the next day you're just going to keep having that treat. And I mean the only thing that I'm missing is wine. And
because we have stopped the alcohol for a little bit.
Exactly.
Not that obviously you can drink or
exactly, but this is what we are doing.
Exactly, because this is the thing that, and this is the thing as well. Like alcohol, in my opinion, alcohol in theory doesn't actually increase weight too much. It's all about calories and all that kind of stuff. But alcohol does affect my decisions on what I'm going to eat, though.
Yes, that's the thing. You can have you can have a glass of wine, which is about 100 calories.
Yeah.
After you've had 2 glasses of wine, you're 200 calories in, maybe feeling a bit tipsy, start getting wine munchies, and you order a takeaway. And then you've had another 1,000 on. And this is why I've been saying to Paul, can we just have
or Italian desserts for us?
Can we just have the wine and not order the cannoli?
Oh my god! Local to us, there is this Italian restaurant. They do the old school stone baked pizzas and all that kind of stuff. But oh my god, they do the best cannoli ever. Tonight I'm going to drink wine. I'm going to order all the cannolis. No,
he's not, really. And that's really disappointing to me.
That is disappointing.
That's so disappointing to me, because I know that I will get back on it tomorrow and not feel any guilt. Paul will just be on the case, like, I shouldn't have done that.
But my problem is like, and this is the thing. It's funny.
It's all your problem.
I've got a lot of
problems.
A lot of friends. I've got a lot of problems. A lot of friends with problems. But yeah, a lot of friends are like, well, make sure you're definitely doing cheat days though. That's really, really important. Blah blah blah. And it's like you still don't realise that I don't have cheat days. I'll have a cheat week. You know what I mean? I can't handle concept.
Well, this is why it's
once I've lost the weight, then I'm just going to go back into cool. I'm maintaining. I know what calories I need to maintain my body weight.
How much weight are you intending to lose before I can have a cannoli again? Because
this is totally up to you. I'm saying for me.
Right, that's it. I'm going for my walk. I'm going down to the hotel and I'm ordering a chocolate sundae. And then I'll walk 10 kilometres and burn it off.
But that's probably a good thing to finish on, actually. Because that was another one of the really good things I saw on Instagram, and where it kind of puts normal food... and it puts it into like how much you'd have to do to basically get that food.
Oh my god, a large fries from McDonald's is like 500 burpees.
Oh, something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's like,
and no one wants to do burpees.
One burpee, yeah. No. But that is that is interesting. I do love all that. But the moral of the story is, people, please be happy.
Yeah, just be happy. Be happy with yourself. And if you are feeling a bit uncomfy,
you don't need to. Well, I don't know, unless the doctor says, but you don't need to, lose weight. You know, all this kind of stuff. It's really down to obviously there are medical reasons and stuff, but you need to be happy with the body in which you're in, and weight loss doesn't happen overnight. I mean, I'm looking at 6 months, to reach my goal, and someone would say, what, haven't you tried Eric Brent's, I made that name up. Eric Brent's, lose 2 stone in 2 weeks. It's like, no. But
yeah, you can't drop weight too fast.
No.
And it's not good for you, and it won't make you happy.
No.
The whole thing is, the reason why we want to talk about weight loss is just because it's something that we aren't aiming for.
No.
We are...
It's a journey, man.
More looking to keep up with a healthy lifestyle.
For the sake of Ava, for the sake of us.
Yeah, and once we've lost the weight that we put on from lockdown, it's not even a case of trying to lose extra weight. It's literally just getting back to our average weight of which we normally are at. Yeah. We didn't go out much. We didn't do much exercise. No. And that really shows. And I missed that. And I could literally have stuck to the diet that we had and probably just do the exercise and things would have been fine.
Yeah.
But, that it wasn't healthy in regards to salt and sugar content.
Yeah, but that was the thing. I think lockdown was a relatively sadder time.
Yeah, and I think you needed more treats.
Yeah.
And the same is now, if you're going out more, if you're allowed to go out more and go to restaurants and cafes and things, enjoy it.
Exactly.
Like, don't feel bad. Just, park the car a bit further away, take the stairs, just do the extra little bit of exercise and, just eat your fruit and veg, people, and your protein.
Yeah, no, and I mean, and the other thing is it's a really good thing, you get these Fitbits now, they're relatively cheap and all that kind of stuff. And as long as it's not going to affect your mental health, because I think I went through a big period as well of actually being addicted.
Obsessive
to how many calories I was burning and why wasn't I doing enough, and and that's not healthy either, really.
No,
that kind
you
of
get
thing.
a rough ballpark,
Yeah.
and then to be honest, once you've done it a few times, and if you tend to eat the same similar thing and same portion sizes, you get an idea that you're going to maintain your weight. And not put it on.
But do it for yourself. That's the thing. Do it for yourself.
Yeah, don't. Or if it's a medical reason.
Yeah.
Do it for
yourself.
Yeah, exactly, because it's for you. It's your life. It's your happiness.
Yeah.
And all of it really does affect your mental health.
Yeah.
Your diet affects your mental health and the exercise.
Sleep.
And sleep.
Yeah.
Make sure you sleep. So I know we keep repeating ourselves, but it is literally the important thing that we have found.
Yeah.
But yes, if you need to talk to a nutritionist, if you need a personal trainer just to work out what is best for you.
There's a lot of information online, but please try and don't just go with the first thing you see.
No, and don't
There's
just
a lot
jump
of free
in.
information online.
Yeah, don't just jump into fad diets either. There's some amazing online videos. Joe Wicks is a really good one for workouts. As we said, Will Tennyson shows you how different diets will work and probably prove and how they don't work as well. Yep, and he does some workouts as well. So yeah, just have a browse, find what you think is good for you.
Find what works for you, because everybody's body is different. That's the whole
and
thing.
don't lose too much too quickly, because it won't be good in the long run.
No.
But yeah, if you've got any thoughts on weight loss, or whether
if you're a nutritionist, add to this.
Yeah.
Let us
please
know.
do. Yeah, add to this.
Please don't promote these diets though in the comments.
No, just healthy eating and what foods are really good for you.
You can lose 5 stone in 2 weeks.
No, I don't. But no, that is just it frustrates me so much. Anyway, yes. So. Join in the conversation.
How can people join in?
Join in the conversation on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at TruthsPod.
I tell you what, Laura, it's really making me hungry.
Same.
Be sure to subscribe on all your whatever you listen to podcasts on: Apple Podcasts, Podbean,
Spotify, Apple.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
There's a lot, and YouTube, you can never remember.
No, I can never remember.
Just find us. Just find us.
Just find us. Truth About. Thank you very much, and we will speak to you soon.
We're gonna go eat. Bye.
Confusion filled sea of doubt. It's time to hear the truth about. Confusion filled sea of doubt. It's time to hear the truth about.